If you're part of the cozy community or have looked into it at any point, you've probably seen them. The problem with today's cozy game slop, or why do cozy games suck? Videos talking about how the cozy game industry is not as wholesome as it seems. But is that really the case, or are we just zooming in on the negatives of a gaming movement that is gaining popularity? The definition of a cozy game is a topic continuously debated, and if you're curious about that, then I'd recommend looking at What Makes a Cozy Game by Design Doc after this, because they do a better job at it than I ever could. Another highly spoken about topic in these videos is the root cause for the explosion of cozy games, but I don't feel like anyone ever does the movement the justice it deserves, so I'm going to be going a little more in depth here. The fourth mainline addition to the Animal Crossing franchise was New Leaf, releasing worldwide on the 3DS by 2013. In Japan, it sold over 2 million copies within its first 2 months and became the first 3DS game to hit that milestone in Japan. Cozy games were already beginning to make waves on the whole industry before the release of Stardew Valley, which sold over 1 million copies within the first 2 months of its release on PC. These were both extraordinarily good sales for the respective studios, and then on March 20th, Animal Crossing New Horizons changed the industry forever. Within 3 days, it sold 2 million physical copies in Japan, the highest opening for a Switch game in the region, and 11.77 million units worldwide in its first 11 days on the market. And yes, since this was all during COVID, the audience for cozy games may have dropped substantially after we came out of quarantine, but now knowing that Pokopia has sold over 2.2 million units globally in its first 4 days of release, it's safe to say the community hasn't gone anywhere. As with all things, an increase in demand causes supplies to increase, and Animal Crossing New Horizons gave clear figures to developers that there was a valid market for cozy games. Today we see an ever-growing number of games that can be considered cozy, and while the complaints about quality are still valid, we are seeing more cozy games lack new concepts, and many mistaking the idea of a relaxing escape for a game about risk and reward. We have to accept that this is not because the genre as a whole is getting worse, but because it's getting larger, which means a portion of those games will be cash grabs, rushed, or genuine slop as seen in the industry as a whole. Okay, so now we have the real reason cozy games have started to suck, and that there are still new, good titles releasing. But this is still not the end of the discussion, because what do we as consumers do to work around this genre boom? Well, the easiest solution is to not buy games that have been made purely to ride on the financial hype of the cozy industry, giving the facade of a polished experience when they are actually still just a sourdough starter. Except, of course, that is easier said than done. There are quite a few game marketing techniques such as sponsoring beloved content creators, putting out teasers or videos of seemingly higher quality or the best parts of the game that can skew our understanding of whether a game will be good or not. Unfortunately, a lot of videos I have seen on this topic just leave the discussion here. It is one thing to understand that our money is our vote, but another to make sure it is done correctly. So how should we tackle the cozy industry? If you could spend £20 on food but have no idea what you're going to get, would you do it, or would you just go to your local store and buy the food you can see in front of you? For those of you that did say yes to the first question, that is also totally okay. There is a thrill in going into a game completely blind to see what you think of it, so long as you are in the financial position to do so. For those of us who have limited money and want to have a good experience with what we spend, you and I are going to have to invest a little bit of extra time delving deeper into any game that piques our interest. This leads me to the root of my channel and the best method of achieving that: demos. If you are new to this channel and haven't yet subscribed, it would mean the world to me if you did, but my main short series is Demo of the Day, where I play a demo and tell viewers more about the game in under a minute. Not only is this helpful to me on figuring out if a game is actually one I want to buy, but the series is also for those who don't have the time to play 72 demos a year and don't want to have to research or read varied recommendations on a game. That being said, playing demos where available is in most cases the best way to figure out if the gameplay loop is for you. Other ways include reading reviews if it's a game that has been out for a while, and watching or reading devlogs, trailers, and any other written information on the game. A crucial step that I think a lot of people never take enough time to do is to sit down with your thoughts. I know, why would I ever tell you to do that? How horrible! And figure out which parts of the game you did and didn't like. This can be as simple as you taking the time to write a Steam review, fleshing out some of your main takeaways, ranting to a friend, or writing a journal on how much you love the dialogue blips of a single character. Once you start properly curating your profile of what game genres and elements you like within the vast pool of cozy games, and even what cozy stands to you, it will be easier to spot new games you may actually enjoy. For some of you, it will also help you take in more elements of the game that you may take for granted, like music or the fluidity of dialogue. Make sure to look into and support developers in the cozy community that align with your game standards or have put out previous games that you may have loved. I'm currently a partner with Loftia, an upcoming solarpunk MMO, as I'm confident in their aims, and I have played all of Dute's games, and so I know I'm likely to enjoy their upcoming title, Milky Delivery, as 2 examples. You can support developers in several ways, such as contributing to their Kickstarters, wishlisting their games, and buying them once released, but also by following their social medias and interacting with their polls and playtests to help them make a better game. In our current climate of trends and fast-paced consumerism, the game industry wasn't going to escape this, and developers are being hit even harder than we are. In a hilarious turn of events, the greatest example developers and consumers can learn from is actually still Concerned Ape. I don't mean blatantly copying plot points or features of his first game, and I definitely don't mean calling any farming sims trying to bring something new to the genre Stardew Valley with a twist. I'm actually talking about his choice to slow down and enjoy the process of making his upcoming release Haunted Chocolatier, where he hasn't given himself a time limit to release the game. While I'm sure we both love to be able to keep up to date with every cozy release, that is already a hard feat. So even if others, more specifically content creators, are constantly talking about the latest game, you do not need to buy all of them on release. You don't even have to buy them in the same year or decade. They'll be there waiting for you to try them when you are actually ready to do so. If we want to appreciate what the cozy genre still has to offer, we should start focusing our attention on the games we are most likely to enjoy, even if the community has moved on from it. There are still loads of games out there for you to love, you just have to choose them. Thank you so much for watching till the end of the video. If you enjoyed what I had to say, consider following, liking, and supporting me on Twitch, as I'll be streaming for the first time next week on Wednesday the 8th at 7 PM GMT+1. I shall see you all in the next one if I ever get round to making something new.